What's up? It's your girl Queen Bee, and today I'm going to be doing my first story time. And by the title, you can already tell I married my baby daddy in jail. Let's get right on into it. So let's start at the beginning. So I met him in 2014. I was 24 years old, and he was cool. I mean, he had some flaws, but I seen past those flaws. I seen the potential in him. So whatever, we dated, we talked, boom, bop, bink. We ended up having Miss Callie in 2015. By the time 2015 comes, we're on good terms. Like, I feel like at that age, he's older than me. He's 7 years older than me. So if I'm 25 and I got it together and I'm willing to, stop all the bull and all that, I feel as though he definitely should have been willing and ready to get it together. And he had 6 other kids, honey. But we're not going to get into that. So I had Callie. We broke up. We broke up on bad terms because we could not agree on simple things. We're not going to get into that because this video is not about bashing him. I just want to give y'all a little backstory as to how we ended up married and now separated. But that's another story too. So 4 years go by and Callie is 4 now, and she's starting to ask questions like, where's my dad? Who's my dad? Things like that. Like, I've shown her pictures and I've talked about him, but she hadn't seen her dad since she was like maybe 3 or 4 months. So she doesn't know him. And I was okay with that because my dad was in and out of my life, and I decided for my child that it's best that if you're going to be in and out, I prefer you to stay out. He didn't put up a fight, and I didn't either. So at this point, when she's asking questions, it's starting to like tug on my heart. Oh, what's the flying here? It's starting to tug on my heart. And I'm just not okay with it. So I'm like, at this point, I'm going to put forth a little effort, a little smidget of an effort. So I reached out to his sister. His sister pretty much was like, he ain't shit. He ain't never going to be shit. Excuse my language. And explain that to your daughter, basically. It'll hurt, but she'll get over it. Those weren't her exact words, but summed up pretty much, that's what it was. I reached out to his mom. His mom was like, I've spoken to him about, the situation, and he just ain't got it together right now. So this is who he is and how he is. Basically, like, we can't help you. So I'm okay with it. But I know that my daughter wants to know. So I'll do anything for Callie. So that was like, I'm going to say in 2018 maybe. Yeah, 2018. So 2019, this is like creepy, freaky right here. I'm on LA inmates It's a fly in here, y'all, and it's irking me. I'm on LAMH.com looking up a friend. When I'm looking up this friend, I don't know why, but he like pops up in my mind. Like, put his information in here and see if he in jail. And no lie, I typed his information in. He had just went to jail. Literally, like, I think that this was God. Like, shook me and like, because everything happens for a reason. Why was I thinking about him at that time on that website? You know, and he just had got arrested. Like, he just went to jail, I think a couple days before I looked him up. Weird. I know. So I go on there and he shakes me like I'm shook, like, and I just closed my computer. And my cousin was in the room with me. She looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm about to tell you something. You probably not gonna believe me, but honest to God, this is the truth. She like, what? I'm like, I'm on here on LAMA Locator looking for my homegirl. Found her. He pops up in my mind. I'm like, let me put his information in here. I'm like, you ain't gonna guess who in jail. She like, who? I'm like, my baby daddy in jail. She like, what? She like, wow, that's crazy. So that was in the end of September of 2018. Yeah. End of September 2018. So, okay, let me think. So, end of September 2018, I find out he's in there. I sit on that information for about a good month. No. I got the dates wrong. That was the beginning of September. I found out he was in there. So, I sit on that information for about a week or two. So finally I decided I'm going to write him. I'm going to write him a letter. So I wrote him a letter, and basically I told him, like, look, check this out. I don't want anything from you. We don't have to be friends. I ain't trying to hash up no old feelings. I ain't trying to bring that up. The past is the past. You did what you did. I did what I did. We said what we said. Boom, I mean, that's cool. That's whatever. But at the end of the day, you got a daughter out here that don't know you, that wants to know you. I didn't make her by myself. It's evident. She looks just like the man. I'm gonna need you to be a father. That's it. I don't need financial help. If you choose to, that's fine. I just want you to be a father to our daughter. That's it. So I leave my number on the letter, and I told him to call me. I said, if you call me, I'll make sure some money on the phone, and we can go from there. How we gonna do this? So he calls, and he's from the get-go very apologetic. Very. I mean, I didn't even ring us up. I'm just like, from the first call, like, hey, here's your daughter. Callie is very intelligent for her age, has been. At 4, she can hold a very good conversation. So I didn't need to do anything. I just said, Callie, this is your dad. Well, wow, this is Callie. And she took it from there. She had her own little questions in her mind and heart that she wanted to ask him, whether he was ready for him or not. So they had that conversation. Of course, it didn't last long. I mean, she is 4. And he was like, let me talk to your mom. So I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, he goes into, I've been looking for you. Like, this ain't nothing but God. This is what he's saying. He's like, I've been mad. He was like, you don't know how long I've been wanting to get in contact with you. And I'm like, that's bull, because my brother owns a restaurant in a well-known neighborhood that we're both familiar with. So you really, really, really wanted to get in contact with me, you could have went to the restaurant and been like, hey, bro, like, I need your sister's number. My brother off top, because that's his daughter, I have a daughter with him, would have been like, here, here's the number. So anyways, but he like, I just didn't know how I go about it. I didn't know how he was going to receive me. After a year with mine, 2 years with mine, he was like, I just didn't know how it was going to go and how it was going to be. So I'm like, that's cool, whatever, I don't have no ill feelings towards you, and I really don't in my heart to this day. After all that has went down, I do not have any ill feelings toward this man. So, he like, can I call back? I'm like, of course, you can call Callie, not whenever, because them calls is costly, but you can call her regularly. I will do that. So the calls start coming. I'm going to say about a week later, he calls me. Late at night, like 11, 12, he called me. I'm like, Callie sleep at these hours, so this is not really a good time to call her. So he's like, I didn't call for Callie, I called for you. I'm like, what do you want with me? He like, man, I mean, yeah, we ended rocky, but I've always loved you. I've never stopped loving you, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay. But I'm just trying to co-parent. And that was my answer for weeks and months. No, I just want to co-parent. So let's fast forward to December. I know it's not a long time, but when you talking to somebody on them phones and that's it, time moves slow, seems like. So December get here and he's really adamant. He like, man, you my family, you all I got. Literally, I was all he had. And we're not gonna get into his the jail part of this, because that's a whole nother story. But literally, I was all he had. I was the only one who he could call, write, who came and seen him. And other than his nephew, which I took to see him, and financially supporting him, the whole nine. I was it. And my mom. We were it. So, December, he really putting it on like, man, this is what's meant to be. Look how it all came back around, full circle. This is God. This is God. This is, like, just putting it on. So I'm talking to my peoples, my family. They like, girl, don't fall for it. That's jail talk. Every nigga in jail be ready to marry they first baby mama, the second baby, whichever one came around. The homegirl that they knew in kindergarten, they'll marry her because they in jail. They like, don't fall for it, B. Don't fall for it. It's jail talk. So I'm like, yeah, I feel the same way. Like, it's jail talk. So by this time, we seeing each other now. Like, I'm taking a drive. I'm going to see him. Taking Callie to go see him. Like, I'm not going to lie. Them conversations be like, deep. Like, when he locked down and it's just him and that phone and his thoughts, men be having common sense. They be intellectual, all of a sudden intelligent, smooth, just, I don't know. So all that's getting to me. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. All that's, softening a young player heart, And, like, January come around, and we talking one day, and he like, we can get married up in here. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, we can get married up in here. My homie said it's just some paperwork you gotta fill out and whoop-de-whoop and you just gotta go file these papers and we get boom boom, we can get married. So I'm like, I ain't never heard of that, but I'm gonna look into it. So when I look into it, I actually found a pastor that's licensed to marry people in the jail. It costs, but he handles all your paperwork. He knows the procedure, so it's smoother than you going out just doing piece by piece yourself. So I told him about it. He like, no, I don't want you to spend no money on that and whoop. I'm like, if this is what we gonna do, baby, we gonna do it. I'm all in at this point, baby. So we ended up doing it. We got married January 13th, 2019. His release date was September something 2019. But the way it was set up was he was supposed to get out early on good behavior and this, that, third, all that. That's a whole nother story. So we ended up getting married. It was very quick, to the point. It's just like a regular visit, except for I get to bring a witness. He got to bring an inmate witness. And the pastor that's licensed to go and marry you. We were in between glass. There was no touching, no hugging, no kissing, no none of that. It was a phone on his end and a phone on my end. And the pastor reads the vows. We both say I do on the phone. He read him his rights. He read him my whatever. And my mom was there and to witness it. And he had one of his friends in there that witnessed it. We signed some papers. He gave the deputy his paper. They signed off on it. He signed off on it and give it back to him. He went and filed him, and boom, bam, we're married. So that's how your girl ended up marrying her baby daddy in jail. I'm going to need y'all to like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to your girl channel, and stay tuned for part 2 of how we ended up separated. Peace.